philsgang.com and sign up for a free 10-day trial. Phil Grande has developed tools to teach you how to invest in stocks properly. Not only when to buy stocks, but how to sell stocks short.
85% of people in the market lose money. Get out of that group by just joining Phil's gang.
Now you can learn to invest like a pro with a pro, Phil Grande. Take advantage of this special offer for a free 10-day trial at philsgang.com.
Try it. 10 days free.
That's philsgang.com.
philsgang.com.
When you listen to the advice of Phil Grande at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard. Things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand. Especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Want good investing advice from someone you can trust? Listen to Phil Grande.
With what's going on today in the economy, especially the stock market, it gets really complicated, but it doesn't have to be. My job is to make it simple, to get through the fog. And I think I do that, and I think I do a pretty good job of that, especially why you should be buying a stock, or why you should be in the market, or not in the market, or shorting.
Invest wisely with the knowledge of Phil Grande at philsgang.com.
What, are you nuts? If the stock market can make you so rich, especially Apple and Microsoft and Google and Amazon and the rest, why are so many Americans poor? If the 401k promises you a retirement, then why is it we are in a retirement crisis? Here's the answer. Because 85% of you get out of the market too late. I fixed that with my color-coded chart, which tells you when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out. That's right, when to run like hell. Check it out. You get a free membership and the free color-coded chart for 10 days. Check it out, philsgang.com.
Are you a stock market investor without all the information?
What, are you nuts? Market's going up, market's going down. We're getting all this bad information.
How do you invest intelligently? Phil Grande can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market.
When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grande has some sound reasons you should join Phil's gang.
When I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com.
I signed up, and I've learned an incredible amount from Phil and Steve. The staff at Phil's Gang gives platinum-level service and stock recommendations. It's as simple as that. At the end of a month or so, I've always been in the black. Phil's Gang is a class act. I'm happy to be a member.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. Phil Grande has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence.
Hi, I'm Phil Grande at philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free. If anything, during that 10-day period, you're going to learn how the market really works. You're going to find information.
The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grande.
And welcome to Phil's Gang Radio Show and Podcast. You know, everyone's telling us how good the economy is.
The economy is not shrinking. There is no recession. We're creating jobs.
Really?
I think we have a very strong economy.
So, the strong economy, it's all we keep hearing. If the economy's so strong, why is it that Amazon, Best Buy, Walgreens, CVS, Foot Locker, Pizza Hut, and so many more are shutting down stores? What are you, nuts? They don't shut down stores. They expand stores when the economy's good. One reason is, under Biden and Harris, inflation went up to 20%, but wages only increased 1.78%, rounded out 2%. That's true. And Biden and Harris have been spending $200 billion. In other words, they've been increasing our debt by $200 billion a month. What are you, nuts? We don't have that money. We have to print it. Now, it's not the debt that causes the inflation. It's not the deficits that cause the inflation. It's the printing of money that you have to pay it back. That's the problem. That's where we're in trouble. Now, it's really funny with the stock market. After Powell did this rate cut, and nobody's asking, what does a rate cut this severe, not just 150 basis point, but three of them right in a row, what does that mean? What's that telling us? We've never done it. 50 basis points? Never has a 50 basis point cut been used like this. It's reserved for emergencies, for a crisis. And we know what crises are when they used it. How about 9/11? How about before that, 2001? The dot-com crash. How about the housing financial crisis? 9/11, as I told you before. How about COVID? That's the only time they used 50 points, but they never used 50, 50, 50 right in a row. So they're lying. They're not telling us the truth. I mean, what does that mean? And the other thing, gold. And we're happy. Our gold, we have 3 different entries in gold. We've entered it 3 different times. We're up about 15%. We're delighted. But what does it mean when gold's going up? In other words, can they tell us that when gold is roaring like it is, and you're cutting rates 3 times, 50, 50, 50, that means the economy's doing well and the banks are doing well?
It was actually the U.S. that started this global meltdown, if you recall, just 15 years ago in 2008. And we are back at that exact same juncture. They call themselves very robust right now, but they're anything but that.
That's right. The banks have never been fixed. So they keep telling us how everything is so good and everything is doing well. And well, then let's visit what gold means. What does it mean when gold takes off like this? It means there's a little confidence in the economy. When gold rallies, it tells you there's a problem in the economy. There's fear in the economy. There's no confidence in the economy. And that's why gold is doing so well. So, and again, you don't hear that at all from the fake business news network. You think the fake business network would come out and say, you know what gold means? When gold's going up like this, and we're happy it's going up, we're making a lot of money in gold, but on the other side, you got to remember, it identifies a labor market is struggling. It identifies not only the labor market, but the economy is struggling. We have a crisis facing us. They don't even tell us about, we've been having this yield curve inverted for how long? The 10-year and 2-year. Forever. And finally, it's uninverted. Finally, it's back to normal. What does that mean? Is that bad or good? Well, it's telling you that a recession, that's the starting flag of recession. Look it up. Anytime you have an inverted yield curve and then it uninverts and it goes back to normal, that's like the checker flag. Let's get started. I mean, that's the start of inflation. It always has been, always will be. So how could that be good? So when you think about it, the gold rally tells us we have a crisis. The 350 basis point rate cut, 50-50-50, that means we have a crisis. The inverted yield curve, going back to normal, means we have a crisis in the sense that we're going to have a recession. But yet, they're telling us, you know what? This market, this environment is like 1982 bull market. It's the everything rally. Bad news is good news. Terrible news is good news. All bad news, all terrible, all good news. This market's not going to stop. It's just going to keep going up. And we're at a point, we're at a rally peak. And at a rally peak right now, we're in a stage of euphoria. We really are. People think, hey, this is it. So let's dig into this a little bit. What does it really mean? And what's it going to mean to investors? Well, first, as I said, when you have a rate cut right before an election, and very rarely does that happen, very rarely. And the party that's in the White House, by the way, when they do that, lost 5 of 6 times. That's right. So to risk a rate cut right before an election, try to move the market up to make things look good for the candidate who's ever in the White House, right? Think of the risk they're taking. Because history tells you when they cut that rate to create this rally, to create an illusion things are good, they've lost 5 out of 6 times. The party in the White House lost 5 out of 6 times. Why would they take that risk if things were good? And again, the 50 basis point cut never occurred. Never occurred. Never back to back 3 times. Never. Not only never once, never mind 3 times in a row. As I said, it was only used for emergencies, 2001, 2007, 9/11, and 2020. But people would be surprised to think we're in an emergency. The way the stock market's rallying, making all-time new highs, the S&P, people would be surprised. Well, how can we have an emergency? Look at the market. Because the market doesn't reflect the economy. The market is not the economy. It isn't. And if people really looked into it, they'd identify that the proof that the economy is doing terrible and heading for an emergency is gold. Because when gold rallies, especially to new highs, which we're glad we're in it, it identifies the economy's struggling, the labor market is struggling, and both are heading towards a crisis. So instead of looking at gold and say, wow, this is great, say, uh-oh, there's a problem here, they don't. All they see is gold going up. Wow, look at this. So if there's no emergency and the economy is doing fine and heading for a soft landing as we're being told, then why the hell is it that Dick Powell, he crafted a rate cut trick? That's right, a rate cut trick. What's that? Well, when he cut rates, he didn't tell us that by limiting the rate cut to only short-term treasuries, meaning those treasuries that are going to expire this week, next month, next 3 months, he made sure he limited the rate cut to affect only the short-term rate, not the long-term 10 or 30-year treasuries, because he wanted to get this rally, because he was under pressure, tremendous pressure to get this political rally going. So he knew he could get that going by making sure when he cut rates, he would limit to the short end of the yield of the term, and that way he knew that we'd get a rally, and he also knew at some point very quickly it would turn around and interest rates would go right back up. He never explained that to anybody. Why will that happen? Why will interest rates go back up? Well, I just explained, because he targeted the rate cut to just the short term or the short end of the Treasury. So why did he do that, though? What's he concerned about? Well, first, as I said, Powell felt cornered. He had to deliver an election rally or he was going to lose his job. He also knows that inflation is still high, about 35 to 45% higher than it should be. He never finished his fight with inflation. Groceries, gasoline, auto insurance, eggs, beef, still going up through the roof. He knows that. And he knows by cutting rates too early, so to create an election rally, there will be a resurgence of inflation. If he didn't cut them early, there's always going to be a resurgence of inflation, because when you don't finish your battle with inflation and you leave eggs up still 75%, groceries up 45%, gasoline up 45%, all the things we need every day, if you leave that out there, you haven't fixed that, and you start cutting rates, you're screwed. Because what will happen is when you start cutting rates, feels good, people go in, start buying a little bit of stuff because rates are lower, things go. But what's going to happen is you get a resurgence of that inflation. The inflation goes back up. Powell knows this. He did this on purpose. He wanted rates to go back up. He needed the rate cut, and he limited it to the short end, so we'd get this immediate rate cut, and it won't last long. Maybe it'll last to January, and then what's going to happen, then the rate cuts, the rates will start rallying back up again to fight inflation. So it's been engineered just for this short term, and that's fine. We've taken advantage of it. We're doing well with our stocks, but we're not going to sit there like most people and say, oh, this is going to go up forever, or like these dopes come out and say, oh, this is like 1982. This is an everything rally. And this is insane. So Powell knew what but he never explained to people. He should have said to folks, I'm going to cut this rate, and I'm going to do something nobody ever did. I'm going to cut by 50 basis points. And it's only, remember, we only cut 50 basis points throughout the whole history of the Fed is when there's an emergency, like 9/11, for example. But we're going to do it again. But not only one time, we're going to do 3 times in a row. Why? Because we do have an emergency. But I'm going to lose my job if I don't rally the stock market. I got to have a Harris rally, so I don't want to lose my job. So what I'm going to do is cut it 50 basis point. We're going to get a quick rally, bam, maybe last 3-4 months, and then rates are going to soar again, and no one's going to know the difference. So that's what I'm doing. So to enjoy this rally, because it's not going to last long. And in the meantime, as I told my members, my gang members, and I invite you to be a gang member, it's free for 10 days, just go to philsgang.com. And I told them, look, let's enjoy this rally. We'll just continue following the money. As long as Powell's not going to explain to everyone why copper is going up, why copper is going up too, but why gold is going up. That's the crazy thing. Why don't they just be honest and explain? Here's why gold's going up. Because you're screwed in the long run. That's why gold's going up. You're screwed. Because rates are going to go right back up, but they don't do that, do they? No. So again, he knows that he has a problem. Okay, that the rate cuts that he's doing right now alone is going to cause a resurgence of inflation. He's got a real problem there. He also knows the inverted yield curve between the 2-year and 10-year that's been inverted is no longer inverted. It's uninverted, and that means every time when it goes back to even, that's the starting flag, starting point. Okay, the recession that we always talk about that will come because we have an inverted yield curve, now that's not inverted, that recession we're always worried about is now here. But he's not explaining that to anyone. He's not explaining that to anyone. That's the starting flag. And he knows cutting rates, the dollar's going to become weaker. Oil prices are going to increase. Oil's in everything. So too will inflation increase. He knows there will be a resurgence of inflation by cutting these rates dramatically. But he gets his election rally. Why didn't he just tell the truth? And then you can plan your stocks out, what you should be buying, what you shouldn't be buying, what stocks enjoy these low rates, what stocks enjoy the high rates, how to short them. Do you know that there's over 200,000 stocks in all the exchanges around the world? And when I get back, I'm going to tell you the percentage of stocks that really create wealth out of all the stocks around the world, especially out of the stocks in the United States. We'll do that when I get back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from, all that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call, 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
If we're criticizing the presidential candidates for sort of wanting more influence over the Fed, I'm talking about Trump in particular here, is it appropriate for senators to be writing a letter expressing a viewpoint that is putting pressure on the Fed to do something that is seen as overtly political because it comes from one party? What is the difference there? Just explain why that is appropriate, but not from the president.
I will make 2 points here. The first is that we are making an economic argument here. And you and I have talked many times about this. It's a consistent economic argument reminding the Fed of their legal obligation to follow two parts, right? They have a two-part mandate here. And that's part of my job in oversight as a senator. That's what I'm supposed to do. I also want to be clear, I'm doing this right out in public. Everybody can see it. You can see exactly when it happens. That is very different from someone saying, I want to be able to squeeze behind closed doors and I want to be able to do it for political reasons. I think those two are very different.
We do our work to serve all Americans. We're not serving any politician, any political figure, any cause, any issue, nothing.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, wrong is correct. What a bunch of BS that is. This was totally political. They needed a Harris rally. This is political. First of all, let me tell you something about Elizabeth Warren. She wouldn't know a rate cut. She wouldn't know a yield if she tripped over it. She has no idea how the market works. What are you, nuts? Give me a break. This is insane. This was totally political. She wrote a letter saying you better cut rates or you're going to lose your job. Now, she didn't say that in the letter, but he knew what the hell she was saying. And that's why he went to the 50 basis points. And he also knew, just like she knows, the economy is in such bad shape. How could it not be? If you are spending $200 billion in new debt, you're adding $200 billion in new debt every month. How could the economy not be in bad shape? A national debt of $35 trillion. Are you kidding me? And they came in and look at the debt they added. I mean, just that one bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, that is the inflation you and I are feeling every day from that bill. And such liars, they couldn't be truthful and call the bill the Inflation Bill Act. This is the Inflation Act. This is the inflation. It's not the what the hell they call what the hell they call the thing? Inflation Reduction Act. They should come out and say, oh no. This is Inflation Plus Act. We're going to ramp up inflation because here are the things we want to do. Because we're nuts. This is what we want to do. Okay? We're on the left side of the aisle, and this is the stuff we want to give away. We want green energy. We want electric cars. We want all this green stuff. We want woke. We want all this. So it's going to cost you up the yin-yang. Why don't they just call it the yin-yang bill? Up the yin-yang bill. That'd be a good one. Why not up the yin-yang bill? These people are sickening. Terrible. Terrible. They just don't tell the truth. So, we got 8 million Americans that are holding a record number of multiple jobs. 8 million. We never had that before. 31% of a family's income goes to putting food on the table. Never before. People have to choose between gasoline, medicine, food, rent, or car payment. They can't pay them all because of inflation. And who created the inflation? Adding $200 billion in new debt each month causes that. Spending $800 billion on this Inflation Reduction Act, which is a joke. It's all about green energy. And to mask it, what they did, they put in there a prescription bill. To cut prescriptions, the cost of prescriptions. But when you read that, that's a real joke. I don't have time to get into it now, but to cut the cost of prescription drugs, there's so many attachments to it. Good luck. Good luck. By the time this thing really works, good luck. This was all fake. They put that on there so they knew they were going to get a lot of heat and spending $800 billion on new green energy. They knew they would never get it passed. But by putting in the prescription drug, that's how they got it passed. But let's get to where we're going with the market right now, okay? Look, one thing you got to know is that the market, if you really want to know what is the market going to do? Most people always say, hey, what's the market going to do? What's the market going to do? You can answer that question yourself just by watching the bond market. And the bond market's easy to watch. Anybody can do it. A kid in the 6th grade could do it. And the bond market, symbol TLT, that's the 20-year Treasury. If you follow that, it will always tell you which way the market's going to go. You don't have to ask. Here, let me explain. If you take, for example, and I'll put it up here for you on a chart. I'm going to put TLT here for you. There we go, right here. Let me get it up here. Here we go, TLT. This is the 20-year Treasury, okay? This is which one you want to watch, right here. When the bond market in green, this is TLT. When TLT is going up, yields, interest rates go down. Stocks go up. So look how long that we've been going up since what? Since April of 2024, the bond market's been going up, and that's why the stock market's going up, because yields are coming down. Before that, just the opposite. When you have TLT going down, or the bond market going down, then you got yields that are going to go up, and the stock market's going to go down. So it's really simple. I mean, just think about it. TLT going up, yields down, stocks up. TLT going down, yields up, stocks down. And remember, that means bondholders make money when TLT goes down. When TLT goes up, bondholders lose money. This is what will help you understand the direction of the market. Now, gold. Gold is very important because gold, let me put up our gold stocks here. Gold is important because, and we watch GLD. We've been doing terrific with GLD. Matter of fact, GLD just had a big breakout right here, and we caught. Now we've entered GLD. We've had two different entry levels on GLD. We entered three different entries. We're up 12% at one, 5% on the other, and 6% on the other entry. But we just had another breakout, and the reason that gold goes up because it sends you a message that we have a problem underneath the economy. Something is really nefarious. Something is very bad going on. Something we're going to head for a real correction. But in the meantime, okay, as long as you watch the bond market, the gold market, and it's going up, watch GLD. That's the best one because that follows the gold, the actual bullion. So instead of having to go buy the actual physical gold, you can just buy GLD. Okay, that's an ETF. And it follows exactly the same way bullion goes, the stock goes. And you're not dealing with mining stocks like GDX, which is a miner. And when there's inflation, miners have problems because their expenses go up. Here, I'll show you what I mean. If you put up a miner like, let's put in GDX, for example. That's a miner. Now, GDX, that used to be my preference, but the problem with GDX is that it will start trailing most of the times it will trail your GLD now, because GDX, the problem is it's a corporation, it's a driller, they have to buy equipment and so forth and labor and all this stuff, and because of inflation, they're not making the earnings. So it's not going to do as well as GLD. If you want to follow, instead of buying gold itself, just buy GLD, okay, the stock, and it's a spider, it's an ETF, and you know that, hey, when you see gold going up, you know, hey, things are bad in the economy. Now that doesn't mean you don't buy stocks, of course not. Look at the rally we're having while they're masking. Remember, they're masters of masking. When things are bad in the economy, there's nobody better than the Federal Reserve and the fake business networks working together to mask what's going on. So so all you do is say, okay, so if the S&P is going on, here's exactly how I do it. I'll show you here. Again, you should join the gang. It's free for 10 days, for heaven's sakes. We'll show you how to do all this. So here I watch the spiders. Okay, now we're long in the spiders. We're making money in the spiders. So when you hear how bad things are, and yet the S&P is going up, you're saying to yourself, well, things can't be back. If SPY is going up, the market's going up, things have got to be good. No, the market has nothing to do with the economy, okay? They're pushing this stuff up, okay, by dropping rates, by doing QE, by stock buybacks. The big corporations are buying $5 billion a day. Okay. Now, the other thing, too, people say, I don't want to short stocks. I'm scared of short stocks. Do you know why 80% of people lose money in the stock market? 80%. Why is that? Well, because they don't short. They only buy stocks. Now, I'm going to give you a fact. It's absolutely the truth. You can look it up yourself. There's about 200,000 stocks worldwide on all the exchanges. If you take the U.S., let's say 8,000, pare it down from 8,000 to, let's say, 2,800 stocks, the well-known stocks. You realize only 4%, if you take all the wealth, only 4% of those stocks create wealth. So that, you realize how good you have to be at trying to make money in the stock market by just buying stocks? It's almost impossible. If you take the 2,800 best stocks in the United States and only 4% of those stocks create wealth, then you got to know how to make money when the market's going down. And that's what professionals do. They make money when the market goes down as well as going up. But when you look at that fact that only 4%, we'll use 2,800 stocks, only 4% of the 2,800 create wealth, that's because you're not shorting. So when you had this, we had the stock market break 2,000 points because of the interest rates went up on the yen. And remember, the market dropped 2,000 points, and you're sitting there, and your stock's going down, down. You keep calling what do I do? What do you do? And if you're in a 401k, you're really screwed, right? But you're not screwed if you know how to sell short. And that's what we do here at Phil's Gang. We teach how to go long, teach how to go short. So you're covered both ways. And you're going to learn how the bond market works, because the bond market tells you what direction your stocks are going to go, which way the stock market's going to go, which I just showed you. So if you understand the bond market, which is easy, you can learn in 10 minutes, very, very simple. You just put up TLT. If it's going up, then you know, hey, yields are coming down and your stocks are going to go up, so you buy stocks. And it's just the opposite. If all of a sudden you got TLT is going down, then you know, the stock market's going to be going down because, again, yields are too high. So at least you can find out in just a few minutes which direction is the market going, because the bond market tells you that direction. What are you going to do? Listen to CNBC and Fox Business? You got to listen to these people whose job is to get you to buy? No, you don't have to depend on them anymore. So if you watch the bond market, you watch the gold market, you watch the dollar, then you're always going to be more right than wrong. And when you can short stocks, what a difference it makes. So again, you know, everyone tells us how great the economy's doing. Well, I don't know how the economy can be doing with the money that we're spending. Do you know that the Congress printed $8 billion to build like 26,000 charging stations this year. So far, they've only, Mayor Pete has only built 7 charging stations. 7 out of, I think, 26,000. He has $8 billion. You and I gave them $8 billion, and it was 7 charging stations. How could the economy be good? That's just, it can't be, can it? And when you are paying $800 billion, we had to remember print money so that we could do the Inflation Reduction Act. That's another $800 billion. $800 billion goes towards our debt. How can we have a good economy? So it doesn't matter if our economy is good or bad. It's to know if you go long a stock or short the stock. It will help you make that decision at Phil's Gang. Check it out, 10 days free.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grande, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
It's up to me to